only discovered existed last week. And I'm not going to linger on that too much longer because we get to hop right into our first game already in action. IDOM versus Pun Pun. IDOM on the Testament, Pun Pun here with the Anji. I have to imagine the Testament will be able to play this matchup decently well just because they have such screen control, but they can vary up the way that they are controlling the screen. So I imagine that it's not trivial to just like stance through everything the way we sometimes see Anji players do in zoning matchups.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about like the dance magic, it's these like really huge buttons that you just want to armor through. And Testament, while having some of those buttons, like you said, just has a lot of options. So you never know exactly which one you're going to be getting to dance through. But look at the pressure you can apply as Anji right now.
Yeah, I do love that burst there from IDOM trying to work his way out of the corner. The dance through, but the PRC wants to set up the punish. Back drift from Pun Pun is going to make the 2K whiff. Now we get a big knockdown here. We are not going to get all the way to the pickup, and the close slash anti-air here for IDOM, sending out the Succubi, going in behind the skull. One more touch will do it, and the Crow meaty is going to be enough to do that and secure that first round there for IDOM.
That might have even OTP, to be honest. That's kind of grimy. Does have to twirl through the Crow, but it does mean that the stain state's not applied. It does make that approach so much easier, but even then, you can only dodge the wildlife for so long.
I love that. And what you're seeing IDOM doing here is recognizing that IDOM can't get into range to really use the buttons the way they want to because of the stance. So instead it's like applying stain and then making you eat the high-low 50-50 with the EXE beasts. I really like the style there to just be like, all right, whatever, I'll get a little bit of damage out of it. Going for the back drift, wants to fight with the 6P. We're not going to get much for it. Pushing back into the mid-range. Pun Pun has a huge life deficit to try to fight back from here. Eating more 6Ps is not going to be the way to do that.
Oh, they almost jumped up into the Bravery of our 2, but in the end, it is going to be the high-low mix that you're going to get mixed up by. And it's interesting because I see Dan saying it's the whitest thing I've heard in the chat, and I actually don't know what that pertains to.
Yeah, I don't either, but the thing is, I fully believe that what
he was talking about Magneto. He was talking about Magneto. I was saying the same thing in my head. I was like, yo, Brad lacks so much melanin.
Wait, because he referred to me as Magneto Master, or because I said I can't do ROMs anymore?
Yes.
Well, what the...
Two things can be true.
Bro, I don't deserve that. How am I going to come in here and just catch a stray like that? Anyway, Pun Pun gets the burst out of IDOM early this time. I love that dash cancel up to the 5K. We've seen that IDOM is trying to force the issue through the stance, and nothing's really coming of it. So instead, IDOM choosing to, you know, get some extra turns out of it instead. Dolores C forward drift. We're not going to get the punish on the whipped JD. Grave Reaper does get dodged. IDOM still looking super healthy, and the 6P into the up Reaper is going to be enough to close out yet another round here for IDOM.
Yeah, this is looking incredibly good. It is 3 out of 5 since we are playing Field Gears Drive, so we do get that extra.
Oh, are we opening this can of worms?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, compared to like our Street Fighter 5 tournaments, right? Because in the pool play for Street Fighter 5, we run. In our double eliminations, we run first to 2, but in Guilty Gear Land, we run 3-5.
As is the standard thus far, sending out the Crow. That little micro forward dash there. Oh my god, the way that IDOM is stringing in these dash cancels around his moves to be able to compensate for Pun Pun's defensive choices has been super interesting and is working out for them a lot. And you can see that Pun Pun is ending up in this spot where, you know, they're trying to make movement-based defensive decisions and getting chased down. We're not really seeing the stance as much anymore. We're not seeing attempts at counter pokes like we had seen in the first round of the first game. Instead, I feel like it's just they're trying to navigate through the control on the screen that IDOM has exerted.
And IDOM, obviously a world-class control player, right? Like, doing it across multiple titles at this point. You know, plays the Poison in Street Fighter 5 famously. They know what they're doing here. right? They're going to be able to control the space on the screen, and they clearly upped the tempo, right? Like, look at that. Ground start, they're already just trying to force Pun into the corner, onto the back foot, because that's not where Anji's going to excel. Even though he has that reversal overdrive, there's really not much else.
Yeah, and you can see that Idom is doing a lot to try to keep Pun guessing now, finding a little bit of range to start the stance. This time, though, is Pun. Going for the low, cashing out a little bit of extra bar behind the Fujin, going for the mix-up, staying low this time, and the IAD out from Idom in order to get away from the butterfly. Idom 100% has the tension to be able to cash this one out, calling on Sister to pop the wall. Oh my god, it's not going to do it.
That's the Anji Guts coming in clutch. Got that 5 stack for as many abs as he's got. And that does not going to work out. The burst is too good. But,
you know what? Getting that burst out of Pun here is actually great because the round was basically guaranteed for Idom. Like, Pun can still make this happen on the right touch. Oh.
Brad, did we curse?
No, we're not going to have the damage. I might have.
I think we did.
Sorry, Idom. Well, it's a round. I'm not sorry for anything yet.
Besides, this is a pattern for you, Brad. You do
Hey!
up
You don't gotta tell the people that.
specifically against Idom, too. It's really interesting how it works out. Tries to get the run up dust, doesn't quite connect, but the 6P from Testament, it's too good. They're going to be crushing hearts and dreams with that all the time. Red RC gets the stick, and no positive bonus, or positive bonus, excuse me, but no Oki. So, gonna have to just close out the round, right? That's all we had to do last round, and here we are.
Nice pickup, close slash into close slash, forces the burst out of Pun again. And this is a good spot to be in. Idom has the burst, gets the low EXC beasts to catch Pun trying to push forward. And this is now set point for Idom, trying to make this a clean sweep. A big jump in, Idom immediately forced to spend the burst. And now, as the setup, stay in state is applied, and 6P as the pickup right out of the dance. You could see Idom left a gap there to be like, yeah, you're going to try to dance through this, and I'm going to smoke you for it. But another big jump in connects here for Pun. That little bit of breathing room seems to have done something here to Idom's tendencies, and that 6P whipping there, clipped by the low this time. That's going to be a nice starter here for Pun. We get the pickup, but it forces us back to mid-screen.
Have to try and go back to that keep away game for a little bit. Just able to get a couple 2Ps in there, but it's still a life deficit. But the Crows are actually working out pretty clutch. Actually gets thrown backwards. That's huge. Ooh. Reversal overdrive. That should be enough. And there it is.
Yeah, I mean, you have to bust it out eventually. And Idom, I mean, you were speaking.
Dende versus Musty. You guys may have heard of Musty because they sometimes join us here on the commentary desk. And they're playing the worst character in the game right now, unfortunately for them.
You actually think Sin is the worst character in the game?
It's a tie between Sin and Potemkin.
I don't know, man.
Don't give me Snake Eyes argument. That's an outlier.
I don't need to know Snake Eyes' argument. Sin has buttons.
But everything's just not. He is. So here's the problem. Like, he's got buttons, and he's about a patch and a half away from being, like, really, right? Like, we are hopefully going to get a little bit of buffs when the new character comes out, a la, like, when Bridget got buffed, Testament got buffed, Spiking got buffed. Like, they always got buffed, like, a patch or two after release. And that's what Sin's waiting on right now.
Yeah, I suppose. And then meanwhile, you know, Happy Chaos, obviously a character that it seems like no matter what they do to him, they can't bring him down. Just super strong. Although Dende seems like they're maybe not super comfortable with the character right now. I feel like the cadence that I associate with Happy Chaos, which is, you know, get the curse applied and then really lock them down, we're not really seeing a whole lot right now. Is curse application to come in at all? No, they're just going to spend the whole clip and close out that round with a perfect. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But I think there's, oh, this time we go for curse. You know, maybe they're listening.
And that's an unfortunate burst coming out there from Musty to be pushed onto the back foot. And yeah, Happy Chaos is definitely the kid move of Stride. Like, just always nerfed into first place. And I don't know if that'll change. Because, well, actually, Kid Boo's not like top 3 in his own game anymore. So, you know,
yeah,
it only took 4 years, but we got there.
It took a long time. This game already has rollback, so you know, it's hard to measure the right metrics, but Musty gets smoked by the 5P in an unfortunate little scramble situation there, and Dende is able to close out that first game between the two of them now. And yeah, Dan Kravot putting it in the chat as well. Dende had put in work at a Slashback event a little while back, so we've seen a little bit of both of these players across, be it on the mic or competing in other tournaments. I've never had the chance to see Musty play, so I'm definitely interested to see the way the rest of the set works. They got that first game, or that first round, looking okay, but it seems like once Dende starts to get into that rhythm of the zoning game, Musty has a little bit more difficulty. But that being said, right, like, what did I say? Look at the buttons. Look at that. That was another zip code when that started. Just stay in that ass, Musty. No, don't corner yourself.
Yeah, that seems to be where things kind of fall apart a little bit. And then obviously the backdash is just fundamentally not good, unfortunately, for Sin because of the way it locks you into a limited state. But you're right. The buttons from Sin can be quite stellar. You can definitely get some really slick sequences to take you coast to coast. We haven't really seen Musty in like an overly aggressive, like, advanced position. Like, we're seeing them spend some of that snack meter to get in there. They actually get the connection. That was slick.
But they're smoked by 5K of all buttons. I feel like I don't see 5K out of Happy Chaos all that often, but worked out okay there for Dende that time as they're able to draw first blood for the first round of this second game. And Musty on the back foot once again. Curse applied. Dende's thoughts are on their opponent right now. That concentration gauge. Okay, we refilled it a little bit. Got some bullets in the clip. That's an alright burst.
Well, let's talk about the curse tech of the BRC overhead. Hate that still. And no, you're just gonna get close slashed. Gonna be able to close it out there with the gun draw as well. Dende seems to have woken up a little bit. Maybe had a sensu bean in between sets and or games, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, they need to. What happened is it takes a little bit of downtime, perhaps a time skip, for a character to really come into their own as the Guardian of Earth. So now that the Dragon Balls are truly exist, you know. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on? It's not the one that Piccolo fused with. Who was Kami? No, Kami. Why of all the things to forget, right? The character's name was God. Of all the things to forget.
This dude fused with God.
All right, we've made the switch over to the Kai. He's jumping up, had to bring their call their father down. Hey, I heard you're beating up my son.
Dad, he's bullying me.
Like, what, son? He's strapped? Yeah, never mind. That sucks for you.
This is going to be a great lesson in character development.
All right, Red RC off of the slide. How are we going to press the issue? I like the starting up some of this throw pressure here. The meme, Kai is the best grappler. I think that was supposed to be an ambiguous left-right. We're not going to get it. Shock state is still applied. It is now gone. Is Musty going to be able to contend in this mid-range a little more? I like that posturing caught Dende reaching forward a little bit too far. 6P almost connects.
And I liked the second stun edge that came through there. It was kind of just like the trappy, but Dende was aware of it, jumped out of the situation, and this is now set point for Dende. And it's Kai in general is still a really solid pick, right? Like, hasn't really received changes that much in either direction, and it's just that other characters have come out that have drawn the attention from a lot of the Kai players. So the ones that are still rocking with this character are really sick.
I mean, frankly, I think for most of this game is like there's 3 or 4 outliers who are very strong, 2 or 3 outliers who are very weak, and everyone else is like a perfectly serviceable, very well designed character that I think is like, yeah, you know, they're in a really good spot. There's just a few characters that are strong. And like, look at that obnoxious nonsense. Has the BRC backdrift, fast overhead tech with the Deus Ex, the fast wall break. Dende is on a comfortable set point right now. Musty going for the red RCF, the stun dipper, cashing out all their bar, leaving ample room to try to open up this strike throw game. But Dende, I was about to say, seems perfectly willing to take the throw. Accidentally corners themselves again, finds the 2P, but the burst comes out from Dende, and now we've got the Shadow Clone in front. That's all that it's going to take. Sweep for Dende. Closes that one out.
And that was timing-wise, really tough there for Musty, too, because the clone was there. It was almost going to expire, so they threw out the 2P to try and just get the clone out, and it was at that exact timing that we saw the 2S come through for Dende.
Yeah, definitely difficult, and like a tough character matchup to end up pulled into in either case, right? Like, there's only a few characters that I think can have a decent time fighting Happy Chaos because they're just equipped with the mobility or the explicit sort of built-in anti-fireball stuff that can make it a little bit easier for them to try to bulldoze over Happy Chaos. And I don't think either of those characters were in Musty's repertoire there. But Musty does get another shot down in the losers bracket. Dende moving on in the winner's side to play against Red I Am Not. We've got stream queue filling up in the background as well. It looks like the next match is going to be Marvello versus Petrified.
I don't think that's what I was told.
That's what I see, unless
That's literally what's next. That's literally what's next.
Yo, imagine scrolling up in Discord. Couldn't be done.
Holy
here.
shit.
I did, and I see Rat versus Test Your Luck.
Yeah, that's the one after it.
Anyway, we get to see Chip. That's cool.
Speaking of cool, so let's take a second. What did you think? Have you seen the Asuka trailer or gameplay reveals?
Visually, I thought he looked sick. Like, absolute, like, I definitely want to try the character because of how cool it looked with all the wizard magic and the geometry. And obviously the Infinity Cloak was, like, to open the trailer with that, best shot. Will they be, like, incredibly strong? I don't know. That's something that, like, I think Strive is really ambiguous about, is how good the DLC characters are going to be on release. Because they've been, for the most part, like, undertuned, I would say, with the exception
Other
of,
than Happy Chaos.
Happy Chaos and, like, Gold Lewis to a degree, just because of, like, the chip damage that he was doing. Like, he didn't get any of his, like, super janky stuff until, like, later, and then they ended up taking some of it away. So, like, I imagine that they might be a little bit weak on release, and then maybe get patched into, like, mid-tier later on.
See, I am hesitant to think that for two reasons. One is, screw it. The character looks cool. And like I said, I think the difference between, like, the upper and lower bounds of character strength in Guilty Gear Strive outside of a small few outliers is really solid, I think. So even if they're, lower mid-tier, I think that's still largely, like, a pretty serviceable character.
Oh, yeah.
But I also think it looks... Now, I don't know if they put up, like, any explanation videos that explain how the character works just yet, but it looked to me as though, like, you had the 4 spell slots, sort of like Android 21 in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and that, like, the same spell can show up in multiple spots. So it seems to me like you're sort of micromanaging of, like, having different spells loaded on different buttons, and I think that's going to add an interesting degree of execution barrier awareness that's going to be intriguing to see. But that's just my theory right now, as we are going to get into the practice of our first round 2 match. Marvello versus Petrified. Marvello into the driver's seat right now as we are pushing Petrified over the overhead into the fast low after the empty dash. Are we going to have the damage in the back off of this? No, we need one more touch, and one more touch is what we have. Marvello draws first blood.
Yeah, Chip, definitely a monster of a character right now, having so much going for them. Leo, not a bad character at all, especially in some of the tournaments later today. We'll be seeing it, but right now Chip can just do so much to run you down. We get the PRC air throw to connect, and this is kind of the opposite side of that spectrum we saw in round 1, where sometimes Chip just gets hit, right? Like, you get hit, you fall down, you get disadvantaged, and now all of a sudden there's nothing you do, and Marvello's not going to be whipping DPs just yet.
No, certainly not just yet. And I think this is such an interesting matchup as well, because I think they're both characters that on the surface you feel like are these crazy mix machines that want to bulldoze over you. But I think in practice what you find is that the best Leo and the best Chip players are actually much more grounded and much more neutral focused and really punishing you out for your mistakes. Not unlike that. Running the PRC to get the back throw and keep that corner position. Petrified has to go for the side switch overhead out of the back turn stance. We're going to get A lot of damage here, staying in back turn.
Oh, that was kind of like, that was kind of tricky too. Back turn stance, obviously you can't block in back turn, so still holding it even after the jump over came out there for Marvello was super risky, I feel. But they've gotten corner control back, trying to keep Marvello locked down. Not going to be enough. The red RC keeps the overhead safe, but what more pressure can you get?
All right, stayed same side. Oh, cross up. We get the just block, but Marvello actually commits to the throw tech in that spot after the just block. We got the regular throw here. Marvello has the corner position. Going in behind the shadow clone. The fast low off of the forward dash is going to secure the first round there for Marvello.
Yeah, really kind of slick maneuvering in the corner there. And it did look like there was going to be a potential chance for Petrified when they did get that dash forward to dodge out on the far slash and got the mid on it, but the burst saving Marvello there, gonna give them, you know, that second shot at life. And so here we go, heading into game 2. And Petrified, round 1 was a little shaky, but you know what? It's still early in the tournament. It makes sense that you might not, you know, have all the nerves shaken out yet, but they definitely cleaned it up as that game goes.
All right, we get the punish here with the 2K 2D. For Marvello here, and baits out the flash kick out of Petrified. So now Petrified, one, on the back foot in terms of life and screen position, but 2, I have to imagine is going to start to feel a little bit dissuaded of trying to bust out. Meanwhile, Marvello busting out of their own accord. Had to spin the blue RC and their burst. Oh my god, counter hit JP there. They almost got a dope pickup there. The 2K challenge for the cross-up attempt, and Marvello should have the damage to close this round out as well.
That was really weird. I don't think I've really ever seen it where you challenge the run-through with like a 2K or something and you end up on the same side. Like, that was interesting for me. It definitely worked out for Marvello. Using the raw one to get a little bit of mix going there. But they're just always fun. Gets the hit. The burst working just perfectly there for Petrified.
Right. Oh, the 2D connects this time. Petrified, it seems like we had that one good round in game 1 so far, but I think Petrified is being a little bit overwhelmed by just the pace at which Marvello is able to play. And I think part of what lets, you know, the higher level chip players really play this more grounded game is just the speed the character has, this great dash, the ability to cover their approach with the shadow clones that they can send out. And you're already seeing that Marvello is doing a great job of really using their movement to elicit responses out of Petrified and then blow them up for it.
Yeah.
So Petrified is going to need to sit on their laurels a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, walk speed alone is sometimes what determines how good a character is, right? Like, that's been a huge debate in Street Fighter titles. It's already become a debate for 6. Like, to have a character like Chip who can be so quick across the screen to approach, whether it's because of the clone or just running at you, like, it means that you gotta react faster, you need to think faster, and that's not always doable.
Oh my god, the slight delay. Marvello's doing such a good job of recognizing when these gaps are coming through, too. It feels like every time Petrified tries to go for some cheeky cross-up stuff and start their mix-up game, Marvello is ready to blow them up for it, with between, like, 2K checks or, you know, DP checks. Oh, I love the stagger off of the Rekka to close out that round, and Marvello on set point now for another sweep.
Yeah, trying to really just close this out so they can head on into the next round. And that's, again, another easy round start going away. The guard point, trying to buy time, but Marvello's not dissuaded. We get the hit, they run right in afterwards. They get the throw, running right back at him, tries to bait out the DP. Up back and Petrified was the correct move, but they just couldn't keep the block going.
Yep. And now just backing off 2D into red RC, trying to keep some stuff a little bit tighter this time here as Petrified. But again, you see Marvello, yeah, I'll FD when you're in range. I'll push you back out. I'm going to force you to deal with the thing. God damn. Even going through the guard point stance, busting out with the reversal when they land to be like, yeah, you thought I saw that you were trying to bring out this new layer, and it doesn't matter. I'm still equipped for it. Just like that, Marvello moves on in the winner's side to play against the winner of Mike Saftig and yeah.
And it's just, there's a lot going on. And it's going to be, you know, kind of Jacko syndrome, where the current iteration of Jacko took a long time for people to play her, and Bedman's going to be the same way, and we'll have to see with Asuka, whereas these two characters took no time getting play when Strive dropped.
Yeah, I mean, Milia got figured out decently fast, right? You're super mobile. You've got the pinwheel if you want to, you know, set up your Oki behind that. You kind of mix people versus Nagoriyuki does exactly that. Hits you twice, drinks your blood, and kills the shit out of you. And I think one of the difficulties with this matchup, and I swear I say the same time everything Milia is on screen, but I think Milia's biggest problem is that she can make Nago guess 7 times and still lose because Nago only needs to make her guess twice.
And that's even with the nerfs to Nagoriyuki, right? With the higher blood.
What nerfs?
Well, no, he does take significantly more damage at blood rubs. Like that is a fair nerf. Again, I thought it was pretty unique. And for Test Your Luck specifically, they've always been an incredibly aggressive Nagoriyuki, right? Like they are truly the boom or bust type of Nagoriyuki because they spend every single round with nearly max blood. Most of the time, they even go for a pop. So they are a huge part of like this nerf because they're actually feeling the pain of it.
Yeah, I know there are some players that are much more willing to play fast and lose the blood gauges. I think that's always been something I've kind of questioned. I feel like it's very easy for me to see a Nago that is lenient with the way they use blood, and I'm immediately like, well, that's going to be why you lose. And here we already see one of the difficulties here, right? At the start of that round, there was a great burst from Rat after Test Your Luck had already committed to like DP Fukio and then like another special, and the burst reset them back, and it's like, all right, you're at tier 3 blood, but you have no ability to use your special moves in neutral.
Yeah.
You need blood back in order to be able to play your character. And Rat immediately honed in on that, waited a little bit to posture in neutral, and then dashed forward and clipped with the very tip of 5S and bulldozed over Test Your Luck accordingly through all the rest of that. And it was just like, yeah, I only need to worry about like your 2S or your 5H right now, and those are gonna lose out in terms of speed.
It's the way Milia's kind of evolved in this game too. Is if you don't have a lot of really good anti-air options, it can be kind of tough, right? Between the command dash and the compel sequences that I imagine was an attempt, but with the bad burst, you are going to explode. And look at this. Test Your Luck still able to hold on to the burst. Hasn't blown through their entire blood bar just yet, but gonna have to be looking for something soon.
But there is that same spot, right? Rat seems super comfortable with the timing to hit Far Slash to blow up Test Your Luck for trying to poke with 5H, and managing to bait out and punish the YRC to salvage the round for themselves there is Rat. Very well done.
And just round start, getting a couple sequences going for themselves, gonna take them to the corner. Was that a quick dash into the hair car that I noticed? Typically, you just do hair car. I wonder what that was about.
Maybe it was a spacing thing. Maybe the dash earns them a little bit more tension. Maybe we're working on the sliver step coming soon to Street Fighter 6 near you. Another great punish of the Far Slash versus the whip 5H. Rat is putting on a clinic right now of blowing up Test Your Luck for their linear poking patterns. It's like, yeah, you're using that 5H. You want the passive blood draw of it, even on block. But if I make you whiff, you're gonna die. And that's 2 games straight now. We're gonna have to see. Test Your Luck is gonna need to be a little bit more patient, maybe walk forward a little bit more and use 2S instead.
It's tough because walking forward is neat, but it's so slow. This is going back to that like move speed conversation we were having last set, where it's, you know, because of not having a dash or a double jump or anything like that, you rely so heavily on the Fukio to get any type of mobility. Whereas Milia is just like, yeah, you know, I got air miles, I can go for free. Like, you gotta watch out.
Yeah, and I love that again, the fact that Rat committed to the burst where they did, locked in Test Your Luck to higher blood, reset back to neutral, not able to use their special moves to try to get in. And now Rat is in this spot where Tester Luck is like, all right, well, you know, I don't have the room to slow this stuff down. The pokes that I'm going to use are a little bit more linear. Now Tester Luck finally has it, had to spin the PRC in order to do it, but Rat was not prepared for the Hail Mary Fukio into throw. I think Rat thought that Tester Luck was going to slow down or stagger a little bit more, but Tester Luck recognized that they only needed a throw to connect. Oh, what a pickup with the anti-air 5K.
Yeah, that's going to be big, useful here. Going to try and push him into the corner. You see Rat trying to keep advantage with that FD, but look at the damage. Oh, God, that was just 2 hits and your entire left bar went away. Counter hit connects, but, man, we're on to guess number 5 now already for Tester Luck, and they're still above half HP, but for how much longer?
Another guess. Catches the backdash this time, but that back throw from Tester Luck, I think, would a 6H OTG have just done enough for you right there? Rat has to spend the burst in order to try to salvage the round. PRC fishing with the JD.
Yeah.
We're not going to get it. No skewers here.
They're really trying. Blocks to propel. And yeah, not safe enough. Going to be able to get the back throw again. Tester Luck making the 4D work out for him. Man, it's getting really tight, and Tester Luck's like getting there, like getting to the point where they can actually run a little bit of offense, and they were able to mix it up there, right? Like we saw the difference between Fukio 5S and the Fukio forward throw. Like we saw both of those in the same, round basically, and that's the type of stuff that's gonna keep Rat guessing, because you can't just take the damage. Like you can't just take a throw either. Here we go.
Right. Oh, nice up back out of Rat, but unfortunately that was a command grab whiff, and Rat got the minimum punish that they reasonably could have gotten. The pinwheel actually connects as an anti-air for them that time. Big corner carry, extra cross up, forcing us back to mid-screen. I have no idea what direction you were supposed to block that. I feel like Rat corpse hopped in the middle of that in a way that I didn't understand. The Capel ends up as a juggle for them. Are we going to have the damage? We let our hair down. How's it going to go? Not quite enough.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much maxed out on damage potential here on Tester Luck's, guts scaling.
All right, set point for Rat.
Full screen hair card. Why, man? Why does it work? Huge pickup. That was so crazy.
Yeah, definitely. We have a burst on deck here for Tester Luck, but they need to be careful about how they use it. Oh my god, what a pickup there. Close slash anti-air. One of the best starters you can get, and getting the command grab. Tester Luck's gonna go buck wild right now, but a smart up back out of Rat. Still smoked by the JH there. Has to bring the burst out. Tester Luck wants a little bit more to get to that next tier of blood. They're not gonna get it easily though. That was a grimy mix-up.
Go. Couldn't quite take it to the air as well, but that's gonna connect. Gotta be enough damage.
All right, that'll do it for Rat. Able to move on opposite Tester Luck. Rat, for their trouble, earns the set against Neubenheimer in winner's side. That's only top 32.
Two incredibly solid Nagoryu.
What was the score?
3-1.
3-1 Rat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Two incredibly strong Nagoriyukis right in a row, and they play completely differently sometimes. So that is going to take some adjustments from Rat, and we'll have to see later on if we can get, see what happens, because we're going to be heading into another match.
Yeah, I'm looking. It looks like the only. Oh, is that what it's? The only one I see in start is Jack and Solstice, but I did not have eyes on the Discord. Oh yeah, that looks like the only one that Bunch had earmarked.
My Star GG has them both as stream queue. So I have, going top to bottom, I got SQ versus Red Ditto, and then Jack versus Solstice.
Oh, see, I don't see that as a stream queue match. Oh, yeah, no, I do. But there's also a timer on it, so I don't know if they started early.
No, that's just like the...
No, that's the next match. Just, stop looking at timers. Just focus on the match.
That's just Star GG.
There's no match right now. I'm filling time right now.
Well, you don't have to say, hey, there's a timer running. Don't worry about it. Worry about the match when it comes up.
Speaking of match, this is. I'm gonna change this because this is the wrong match right now. But speaking of match, well, that was for last week. This is this week's. We got Guilty Gear Strive. As you guys can see there, $60.55 already in the pot. We're down to 8 codes, and it's not even 9 o'clock. We have been live running tournament matches for less than an hour, and we are down to 8 codes.
Yeah, that is kind of nutty, but I'm super happy to see it. I know y'all have been bulldozing through the codes a bit faster as of late. I'm happy for it. Look, Street Fighter 6 is coming out. Mortal Kombat 1 is coming out for the 3rd time. You know, we've got to have our Matcherino combos down to a science. That's your B&B. You can't be dropping that. SQ versus Red Ditto, the Ramlethal mirror match. Looks like Red Ditto on the gray Ram and SQ on the green.
That is an assumption on my part, but I know that this is typically the color that SQ runs. So, help me, chat. My only hope.
No, SQ is the green one. I can tell because I can see the direction that the health bars are going.
Oh, no, like I knew that, but so their in-game names are not either
of
those.
Of course. Well, that doesn't help.
You know, the names that I typed in with the health bars. Yeah, that makes sense for me.
Well, anyway, first round is going to go to SQ, who's able to close that one out with the clean overdrive and another strong start here. Red Ditto is able to get the starter here, this time with the 2K2D. Nice pickup, 5D juggle combo. We are going to go for the wall break. I mean, 50%, and you're comfortable with mid-screen as Ramlethal because you have such strong control. Nice block on the overhead, YRC. I love that little shimmy out of SQ.
Slash in there as well. That's probably enough. Yeah, Ramlethal does damage though, guys. It's still a very strong character when it comes to, you know, killing your opponent. And
as is usually the goal of most fighting games.
Most fighting games, right. You do definitely want to reduce your opponent's health bar to 0 before they do it to you. That is traditionally the best practice.
Yeah, in fact, I know, you know, there's probably people out there that are going to be picking up a new fighting game for the first time with Street Fighter 6 coming. So, hey, never forget that the goal is to have more health than your opponent.
That's the secondary goal. The main goal is to turn them into a Twitter clip. So, keep that in mind. The Morto Bato coming out there, taking us through the wall. Oki plus positive bonus just runs up for the full slash. And Jesus, that was a speed round.
Yeah, SQ not committing any defensive resources on that. It's like, yeah, whatever. You can have this round. I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of getting something out of me for it as well. Red Ditto does commit the burst the second they are smoked by something. Oh, a nice pickup on the anti-air there from SQ. How far are we gonna press this? Are we gonna spend the bar? Yes, we are. Positive bonus and Oki off the wall break.
Sets up the sword. Oki doesn't quite connect with it though, and Ditto doing a really great job avoiding the offense there. Unfortunately, can only dodge for so long. Gonna take it to the wall, and highest damage possible coming through, rushing him through the wall, and that is another round on the board here for SQ.
Yeah, SQ's looking really dominant. I mean, the one round that Red Ditto was able to take, they really just bulldozed through it, and it was one of those rounds where it's like, yep, everything's coming up Ramlethal. And sometimes those happen. Oh, these delays on the Rekka chain here, Red Ditto's getting really smoked out for it. It's looking a lot like SQ just has a better sense of how to vary their timing to expose Red Ditto for trying to be more active. And it's not going to work out for them. It's going to be one more mix-up to try to close this one out. Damn, 2D into 2D.
Oh, the counter hit. Staying alive. Gets the sequence going, and this could be what it takes to just turn it around. SQ gets the other sword back, though. Really long stagger, just trying to get Ditto to bite, but Ditto's still sitting on 100 tension.
Oh my god, just dash forward throw right into the OTG. God damn, I love that from SQ. And I'll tell you why I love that from SQ. There had been a lot of like dash forward 2K or dash forward close slash, and SQ had sort of started to realize, okay, you know, I was leaving these big gaps and you were biting, and now you're not. You're being a little bit more patient. So word, now that it's right at the sort of make or break point, I'm going to dash forward all the way in and get that throw. You're definitely not expecting it because we've been playing a very grounded game so far, and I think I have your respect. And SQ was 100% right. They had Red Ditto's respect in the ground game. Now we go straight back to Kara 2K cooking with the tip.
Huh? Alright, here we go. We got life leads coming through here. Burst still on the table here for SQ. Great just block. Can't block for long, though. Take him to the corner. I like the high sword there. It's the only option they had, sure. But it does prevent a jump out attempt. And that's so low to the ground to get hit by an overhead. Didn't have meter. Doesn't need meter. Ditto's able to take the first round again.
Right, but SQ's got burst if they want to make something happen. And right now, they are bullying Red Ditto. Clipped with the very tip of, what is that, 2H? This lockdown right now is oppressive. Red Ditto's going to die for that, and it is going to be set point for SQ. Did I commentary curse it? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't. Ramlethal always finishes the job.
It really is one of the highest damaging supers in the entire game in that type of scenario. There's so many hits because of the laser, plus the guaranteed minimum scaling of the wall break. So it's just, it eats a lot of health bars. And Ramlethal, not crazy high on the guts meter either. Gold burst gonna work out here for SQ, but immediately gets clipped up again. And do you have an escape pattern here?
I actually, well, you were wall splatted super high. I was going to say I kind of would have loved the idea of Red Ditto choosing to go for the wall slump and not reset back, given that SQ had all these resources. Now SQ's on the back foot, having to try to navigate through the oppressive corner control that is Ramlethal. Okay, the 2H connects here for them. They burn the burst away from Red Ditto.
They got their sword out first, so they're able to get the hit, but even still, having to play so defensively, that's going to end up being a throw to close out.
All right, 2-1. Red Ditto's able to get on the board through that one. I like the adjustments that they were able to make there. They've sort of iterated on top of, it's more than just like, okay, I need to be a little bit more patient on defense. It's like, all right, when I do get the offense, I need to take my time a little bit more, go for more staggers, force them to make more small decisions and overwhelm them that way. That's one of the things that Ramlethal is really good at. The little bit of mileage that she gets out of tiring you out defensively, because her offense doesn't have to end. You're so worried about giving her respect.
Mental stack is always growing in this matchup, and now that we're 4 games in, this is our 4th game, the players have gone through the first round of adaptions, and now we're hitting that second stage. But the laser beam coming out there, overdrive through the wall.
Right, this is a super strong spot for SQ to be in. We've got positive bonus for just a little bit more tension. This block string was so messed up. That basically paid for itself with the positive bonus. That may as well have been a block string infinite. Virtually any touch for SQ would be able to close this out here. SQ doesn't want to have to spend their burst at this spot. If you can close out this round without committing another resource that you don't have to, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, gets thrown for it. SQ back in the corner, blocks the overhead this time. YRC is going to connect appropriately. Delayed 2H connects. Red Ditto's still alive!
Red Ditto spending the burst there is so hero. And it was literally a pixel left. I can't in good conscience recommend that for you chatters, but in this scenario, it's your winner side life on the line right? It is set point for SQ. Would you love to have it this round? Sure. Could you have potentially turned that last round around? That's an option as well. But here they're able to get first blood, but the counter hit immediately turns that around.
Yep, wanting to finish out fishing with that Rekka there. We're a little bit farther away. Needs to get the other sword back. SQ finally gets it. The second hit of the Rekka once again. And interestingly, right, we're not delaying the Rekka strings anymore. We are busting out a whole lot faster this time here. Is SQ, who's now going to have the overdrive to close that one out. 3-1 for SQ to move on and play against. God damn, that was a quick update. Marvello took it 3-0 over Mike Safdie, which sets up.
Which is going to be Ramlethal.
Okay, I could see Ram having a better time in this matchup. Ram at round start position generates much more threat than Saul does. doesn't need to cover as much of the screen before Happy Chaos needs to start respecting their buttons, but still has the move speed that a character like, for example, Nagoriyuki doesn't have. So they can definitely navigate the screen better, but also generate threat from a different spot. I can definitely see that Happy Chaos would feel a little bit less confident here. And damn, if you're going to be checking all of these rolls with the throw and also keep Jack from being able to just run his offense, that's even better. Damn, Jack has been playing pure defense so far this round, finally gets curse applied and is able to start playing their game.
And even with all that defense, they've still done 50%, right? Like, that is just a Happy Chaos bar. But
You got to spend money to make money.
That's true. That is 1000% true. And now that we're, trending towards profitable, it just needs one more touch here for Solstice to be able to close this round out. Goes all the way through with the Rekka and a PRC to make it safe, makes it so that we're able to close out the round.
Yeah, the 2K connected there as a counter hit as well, so Jack was doing something maybe once they recognized that the last hit of the Rekka chain didn't connect, they wanted to try to take their turn, but weren't anticipating the fast PRC. That is a real strong pickup there for Jack, though. Gonna get the positive bonus. No real Oki for it, but I think they're feeling okay in this spot. Even if they don't get Oki, they just want to play neutral anyway. Going for the Deus Ex on the wall break. If this doesn't kill, it at least reloads the clip. It does kill, though, so we're not going to worry about that.
One round of each. We did technically reload the clip, though, Brad. You are right. They did start the round with full bullets.
True, but you always start the round with full bullets.
All right, well, maybe not everybody knows that, Brad. I was trying to make it so you were correct, right? I was trying to give you a technicality.
I don't need the technicality. However, Solstice and Jack both did as they were able to tech that throw. But hey, Solstice back in the driver's seat, a very slight life lead. Up drift on the red RC. Jack is in a spot you can see had to spin the burst in that way because both of these characters actually do a really good job of being able to structure their combos to be burst safe. And Solstice is going to get the pickup to close out game one against Jack.
Solstice, again, incredibly strong player. Jack, a strong player. The last time, or one of the last times they entered in our tournament, they made it to grand finals. So they definitely have that prowess. They can definitely make this happen. And that's just game one, right? We're still in first to third territory. We're still in pools, technically. So these players they still have some time to go. They got time to heat up still.
This is to get into winners top 16. That's what we're dealing with here. Solstice up that first game, going for the Rekka chain in the back. Damn, I don't even know what connected there, but Jack does get smoked out for the throw tech. Has to spin their burst in order to reset, but that is a critical back throw here that gives Jack a bunch of real estate to work with in order to now try to make this happen. Not blocking, or they did block the overhead, I'm sorry. Solstice did a great job blocking out that mix-up sequence there, but they're still on the back foot. Jack is not going to have the bar to get the Deus Ex for the wall break, so they're going to have to just pop.
That was crazy. The 2-8 up like that crouching gun swing hit from literally the next country over, right? Solstice was so prepared to go for the big swing because they thought they had the space, they thought they had the room for it, and not only did they get hit, they got interrupted. And Happy Chaos has 1,000 ways to pick up on any connection.
Yeah, as long as there's bullets, Happy Chaos can juggle you. Blue RC just going for the throw that time. I love that from Jack. Solstice already demonstrated that they're comfortable blocking that high-low mix-up there, so I love that they brought out that additional option. Yeah, I'm going to represent the throw as well. Just because you can block doesn't mean that it's the correct choice all of the time.
And I'm a little
One
sad
game
and disappointed
apiece.
because in the lobby, Jack is rocking the Bedman sprite.
Okay.
And they're here playing Happy Chaos.
I mean, they're playing for the points, right? They're trying to ascend. You got to ascend up the tier list. Nice pickup there with the 2K. I didn't need to leave this silence there. It was just like, damn, I could hear you just hating the pun that I had made, just like Jack hates that backdash got smoked. Going for the standing reset there is Solstice. Oh my god, controlling the entire screen. YRC, we're still gonna get punished.
here. So many swords flying through the air. Not a good time to be blocking, but is finally able to just jump out. Free of charge, able to get the curse application as well. They are feeling good right now. Health could be a little bit better, but it is a resource just like everything else. That was crazy fast.
Oh my god, what a pickup there from Solstice to close out that round. That was dominant. And another strong round start. We're a little bit too far away for the pickup off of the Rekka, though. And just like that, we are now on the back foot. The rushdown coming out from Jack. You can only block for so long. Going for the reload and the wall slump. I love that pattern of play out of Happy Chaos. There's another big reload into wall slump, but a nice backdash to get away from the 5D. And now Solstice in the driver's seat. Oh, I love these little shimmies that are happening there. Turns himself into a damn torpedo off the blue RC drift.
Cursed air tech coming through. We've seen a lot of actually really cursed tech from Happy Chaos players tonight, right? We saw the backdash BRC overhead. We've now seen the BRC torpedo through the sky. Like, it's all coming together for these players.
All right,
just
that
like
should be the pickup. Yep, for Jack, evening this up 1 round apiece here in game 3. Still anybody's game. This has been so back and forth. And once again, this is to get in to top 16.
It is a very competitive day ahead of us. I'm looking at some of this data from Ramblethog, because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, man, her defensive options to try and get Happy Chaos off of them really don't shine to me, right? Like, they're nothing spectacular. You get the Mortabato, potentially, if you have the meter for it, but you're also hoping you get to spend your meter in a different way. And these buttons are all so slow. The fastest startup is 5 frames. That is an eternity against Happy Chaos.
Yeah, I think the reality is this is a matchup where if Ramlethal is on the back foot and having to contend defensively with Happy Chaos as a rushdown position, then it is a losing spot for Ramlethal. This matchup is winning for Ramlethal provided that she keeps Happy Chaos on the back foot. If she ends up having to contend with all of his nonsense, then it's not going to go her way. But Solstice was able to keep Happy Chaos on the back foot there, and we are now 2 games up to 1 with Solstice versus Jack. The winner of this moves on to top 16, playing for a winner side spot against Nubenheimer. We've already got SQ having qualified into winners top 8.
6 essence coming out there from Jack, the god button of Happy Chaos. And he just mean bugs his entire way down the lane. Does get caught by the interesting air options out of Solstice, but they are in for a bad time. Gonna go through the wall. No slump available. No meter available.
Rekka right into some offense, pushing us back to mid-range. Damn, you weren't ready for the sword, my guy? You always got to be ready for the sword. Jack on the back foot wants to do the torpedo tings, and they do work out. Solstice is going to die on this round. Jack, the best bullet in Jack's clip was Happy Chaos's doorstep.
As they say, the best bullet is the one you got on you. Where else is your torso going to be? So, Solstice definitely taking a bit of a beating this round. Going to go through the wall. Didn't quite have the tension to go for the overdrive there, but it's now chimed in there. We got the positive bonus. We're getting the approach back on. Mortabato not blocked.
Oh! Huge for Solstice, big equalizer. Back throw, though, after the YRC. This is great for Jack. This is such a strong spot to be in. You've only got 2 bullets left in the clip. I love setting up the Shadow Clone. Just jumping through has to spin the burst there to Solstice. Only 2 bullets left in the clip for Jack, so they're in a rougher spot. How far is Solstice going to try to press this issue? Nice whiff punish, but you didn't have the other sword to try to make that happen. Another great throw on the roll through, and Solstice staves off, bringing us to set point now for Solstice over Jack, and starting with a big 6P pickup and forcing the burst out of Jack, who is very quickly losing out on their concentration.
Yeah, that concentration bar, they're able to get a little bit of a thinking to charge that back up, and 5 dust. The top dust gunshot is so trash. It's so good. I hate it. I hate seeing it. I hate watching it. I hate that the players know it exists. I hate everything about it. The roll through connects, and this should be more than enough, especially with the Deus Ex units.
Absolutely. We are taking this to a game 5. That was looking cool, calm, and collected from Jack in that final round. But this has been so back and forth. I think one of the things that's been difficult for Solstice is it feels like there are a couple of spots where, you know, Solstice ends up throwing the sword, and before the sword has come back to them, they are trying to respond to whatever they've managed to elicit out of Jack, and they're not equipped with the sword, so like their tools don't work the way they want to. I think they're finding themselves wanting for the swords in a couple of spots where they really need them.
Yeah, I mean, the difference in caliber of the normals between sorted and unsorted is quite severe. But Happy Chaos normals are just always good. 6S, 2S, 2D, like even just raw roll that we've been seeing out of this Jack is an incredibly strong tool that you can utilize. But look at this, we got sword normal, it works out. It does get him push to the corner, we get the throw, now we get to set up the mix. That was
oh my god, that shimmy was absolutely disgusting, pulling out the big guns for this wall break, and to bring us to set point once again for Solstice. Jack will have burst back in fairly short order, and what a strong start. Micro dash forward, 2S into gunshot, but you believed you had more respect out of Solstice than you did.
Respect, not always earned. Sometimes it is given. It is not being given in this set, though. And look at that, the jump in, connecting for Jack. Just to get the knockdown, just needs a bit of a reload and a bit of a think. Now they are fully loaded on resources, able to get the knockdown again. Oh, you're dead.
I'm not even completely sure at what point in that mix-up Solstice got hit.
None.
Because it felt like they were blocking the overheads, but it crossed up at some point midway through, and I, like, do not know if they got hit before the cross-up or after.
I think there's a roll in there at some point, too, maybe? Like, it's shenanigans is what it is.
This is a really unfortunate start to the final round here for Solstice. Curse applied, already sent through the wall at like a 40% life deficit. This is not a bad way to turn this back around, though, as long as you're able to keep this corner control. The sword is out, anti-air with the 6P, 5D with the damage in the back. You did not bait the burst, though, and Jack is able to reset back to neutral. The homing missile!
It's so effective. There's really nothing Solstice has been able to do or really can do to try and chase that down. The movement is just too fast. The backdash!
Oh, what a bait!
The backdash for the invulnerability frames to get around the YRC, and then the perfect punish to close it out. Solstice is so smart.
Also telling me like any of these 32 players could basically make top 8 or win. So
It's definitely very true, especially in the world of Guilty Gear. It does kind of kick back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of character strength too, right? Where there just truly isn't like a terrible character, like a bottom one character that's just unplayable. And the character diversity in the tournament is kind of showing that. You know, we're on to our second testament in Leo, but it is still a large sample size of characters being played here tonight. Right now we got Tempest NYC, one of the best Leo players on the continent, going up right now against Pause on that testament.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, that first round, as we were sort of introing the whole thing, Tempest just ran away with it, getting an early perfect, and I feel like this is a matchup where Testament really needs a little bit more breathing room. And Leo having that great move speed, long limbs with the way that his sword normals interact, and good mobility are going to make it harder for Testament to comfortably control the screen, right? Like, Testament's game plan is they want you somewhere like from anywhere from like the tip of 5K range to like 5H or 6H range, and that's really where they want you living, and that is a spot where Leo is pretty comfortable standing and fighting. Ooh. So, oh my god, I think you're far enough out.
Well, yeah. Yes, you're far enough out because you still get hit by the succubi.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was what I meant, was you were, I've seen in a lot of situations people would go for the overdrive in spots like that, but the burst ends up colliding with it and the burst wins. But given that Paw was so far out, it actually beat out the burst instead. And now having the positive bonus and this wall break spot, nice block, just taking slight turns back, charging out.
Reaper, yeah. That's kind of risky for all the reasons you already mentioned against Leo, but worked out for B-Pause.
Right, and that should be enough with the pickup. Yeah, cashing out the Overdrive EXE Beast to close out the first game. And wow, I was, especially after that first round, I was very ready to just kind of watch Tempest run away with that. But, you know, Pause looked really comfortable after a second or two there of like, yeah, okay, I understand. I need to, this is the timing, this is the cadence, this is how I need to control the space in front of me. Even getting to the point, like you said, finding enough confidence to charge out the Gravedigger to get the stronger version with the more travel charm. And yeah, as people are saying in the chat as well, you can't understate how smart that overdrive from Paw was to get around the burst from Tempest in round 2. Early 2K pickup there. The kick limbs from Testament are so good. Oh my god, that beat the DP.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how this is playing out too, because you got to think Tempest, you know, they have the NYC in their name. They have an incredibly strong Testament player, probably right down the street from them in IDOM. So they've probably played this matchup quite a few times, and B-Pause was still able to do them kind of dirty in game 1.
Yeah, well, hey, another first round goes the way of Tempest, but I mean, maybe that first round is part of the thing, right? Like, maybe it takes a little bit longer for Paw to come online. Smoked by the lows out of the back turn stance. Having a hard...
What? Bad hit from so far away. Oh, the fast RC was a little too fast, it looked like. Not able to keep the juggle going, but the back throw gets the hit, and there it is. Lightning.
Right. Yeah, I mean, super clean, and I think the rounds that Tempest wins are probably going to look like that at least more often than not, right? Because I think just if Leo gets in against Testament, I think that's just sort of the nature of the beast, that Leo is going to bulldoze over Testament a little bit defensively. I think the rounds where Testament wins are going to be the one where, like I said, ordinarily I think Testament wants you at like the tip of 5K range at the closest, but I think this is a matchup where you probably end up wanting to play a little bit farther out, and I think that's probably not something that you're super used to doing off rip, right? Like, there's only so many characters that are able to compete with the type of ground control that Testament can bring to the table. Smoked. That was not a safe jump, unfortunately. Testament even gets the side switch. I'm sorry, Tempest gets the side switch.
Has a lot of really awkward interactions there, too. It looked like Tempest went for a bit of a burst bait, but then it didn't, so then they got a pickup, and then they got burst. It was just really weird. But able to dodge out the Arbiter sign, Brave Reaper mix. They're going to have plenty of damage to close out that round, and Tempest is tied, currently 1-1 in the series. Update that. Looking to take the lead for the first time.
Yep, going out for... I don't know why we're representing the high Gravedigger as much as we are, but... Okay, we got the pickup here. Corner control. If Paw is able to keep this locked down, that's going to be great. Tempest does spend the burst, and I think with that burst, gets the better of this interaction. There was not enough damage, and this corner positioning is going to be so important for Tempest that I think losing the little bit of life that they lost is 1,000,000% worth it. 2D right into the red RC. The frame trap works, and we're able to bait the burst. Tempest is playing on another level right now as they are up 2-1 over Paw.
Yeah, Tempest definitely hit into that Super Saiyan 2 mode, shaved his eyebrows off, ready to go, and this is what...
That's Super Saiyan 3, you pleb.
That's true. You're right.
Weren't you a Dragon Ball commentator, like, once upon a time? What is this?
Technically, not major qualified. I am major qualified in terms of DNF and Melty Blood type Lumina, though.
The people need to, like... I'm so glad that they saw me roll my eyes. Because it doesn't make a noise. And I wish it did. Anyway, Tempest up 2-1 over Paw to make it into the winner side of top 8. Gonna have to see whether Paw is able to weather the storm that is Tempest and slow this game down enough to exert some degree of control. Has to spend the burst to try to move forward. Damn, even the projectile interactions do not go Testament's way.
They're just really awkward. It's not as prevalent in this matchup as, say, like the Kai matchup, because the stun edge goes over them, but it's still kind of relevant, and that's crazy the way that connected. really unfortunate that Testament got the purple RC versus the red, but even still, they're a fairly advantageous spot minus the health bar, and they're about to equalize it anyway.
Yeah, gold burst right into a pickup. We're going to spend out that overdrive for the wall break. Going to get the good Oki and the positive bonus, so look for like some stagger strings into, damn, yeah. There's a slight stagger pressure going for the cross up. You stayed same side after that. I didn't block. That is next level Tempest. I was like, yep, and you're going to cross back out to get out of the corner. Oh, damn, I got smoked. So did Paw. Tempest on set point.
And they are, again, running their way through this entire round, already through the wall with positive bonus, with Oki, with only about 5% remaining, and the OTG closes it out. Holy crap. That was so fast.
I mean, yeah, but that's going to be, I'm sorry?
Man, Brian F. yesterday hammered all of our sound levels, and so I adjusted them, and now we got people here today saying I'm super quiet. Man, Brian F. trolling us.
When it comes to audio, you can't win, ever.
No. But anyway, on screen, this is wrong. I have the wrong games entirely. I got baited by the OTG. I even saw it in the Discord and made a note to change it and then didn't. So my apologies, chat. This is actually Aaron DeMac versus Stealthy, not Newmanhammer on screen.
Video on stream is not real. It's an illusion. You guys are speaking telepathically. Well, I'm sorry. I wish I was an Omega class mutant. Actually, screw that. I am Omega class. Hold that. I'm him. Aaron DeMac on a strong foundation here. And this is another matchup that I can't help but feel like not super great for Axel. Like, you would think, oh, we're both zoners. Maybe I can compete. And it's like, well, there's a difference. Happy Chaos is a zoner with no travel time on his control. And Axel, meanwhile, has to, be hitting you with stuff and making decisions. So I can't help but feel like Axel's goal in this matchup is to, like, weather the storm, find the right spot to counterpoke, and then try to, like, completely bulldoze over you. And that is not going to happen here because Aaron DeMac emptied the clip and took that first game in short order.
Yeah, if you need some more visual aid to try and figure out how this matchup probably should go, think about Cassidy versus Pharah in Overwatch, right? You got the hit scan character versus the projectile character, and it is not going to go well for the projectile character.
It wasn't until almost the end of that I was like, first of all, I was like, you're bringing shooter games into this fighting game stream, Doctor? Your esports are showing.
We're watching a shooting game right now. What are you talking about?
No, that's a good point. You know what? Fair point. Fair point. I'll take that. I'll take that L to the chin, and hopefully, Stealthy took that first L as well and is able to accommodate and adjust accordingly. Damn, that's not how you adjust.
I mean, it's an adjustment. It's not potentially a correct one, but not all adjustments are positive. Man, we are in for a bad time. Not a long time, though, as we are going to go for that Deus Ex Machina, closing out the round.
I mean, sometimes it'd be like that. Aaron DeMac's got places to be. He's like, yo, get me those ascent points, and then let me go home. My dinner is upstairs. I'm trying to finish quick. Managing to navigate around the curse, though, this time is Stealthy, who this is the best start that they have had the whole time. Bringing out the Axel bomber loops, getting that wall break. On the surface, I'm questioning the wall break, but they have such a life lead. This feels like a decent spot to be in, and they've already got Aaron DeMac in the corner. They have tension to play with. That was a long delay after that PRC. Smoked by the raw 2D, clipped by the 5D gunshot. Damn, this might be all it takes to get Aaron DeMac back in the driver's seat. Has to spin the burst there, does Stealthy.
Oh, and the burst bait even to close it out. That is worst case scenario there for Aaron, right? The last second hero burst bait, it means you go into this final round with not a hope or a prayer of getting that one back. Whereas on the other side, Stealthy probably won't get it back, but it's infinitely more likely that they will than Aaron right now.
Oh, the frame trap working out here for Aaron. Now 5D tap. No guns in the back, but it's fine. We got the magic reload to close that one out. You remember the Halo 2 days, the quad shot? That was the quad shot. Somebody check Aaron's controller. That shit might be modded.
It's not modded, it's just a macro.
Yo, big ups to Idom with the raid at 190 people. Thanks for coming through, everybody. Wait, so if it's a raid, does that mean you're out, Idom?
Oh, you know what that means.
Now I feel mad disrespectful for asking that question.
I'll see you June 2nd. Yeah, I know. I'll definitely see you June 2nd. Or next week, whichever one comes first.
Let's see, where you guys are in New York. It'll probably be next week.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Heading into game 3, we do have quite a lead coming in here for Aaron, and it's just trending upwards forever. Getting the first blood, getting the first corner. They're out of bullets though. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, I think the resource management out of Aaron has been a little bit lacking, and I think it's just like the reason that it's not as noticeable is because Axel isn't a super explosive character, so it's harder for them to really capitalize on it as much as some of the rest of the roster. But Aaron's going to get this pickup here, has exactly what they need. We're actually a little bit over-equipped to close that one out, but we are back at set point.
A little bit of windmill action coming in there from Stealthy, though. Another good-looking round from them, but it's so easy to just watch it slip through. Does get popped up, stuck on the wall, doesn't quite slump, and able to escape.
All right, PRC forward drift, but you still have the sub-stellar screen position. But once again, like you had just called out of bullets once more. Aaron Demac is going to need like a pickup into an early Deus Ex to try to make something happen. They have one bullet in the clip. There's cashing out the time stop. PRC forward drift. They got a double reload off of that. Man, it is so easy for Happy Chaos to go bullet positive in a lot of their interactions. And this is actually a one-touch spot for Aaron. Not that we're going to get it because our backdash does get smoked. And Stealthy is trying to stave off the 3-0.
And it's really funny because you saw Aaron actually running in there with no bullets. And then it looked like as soon as they realized that they had no bullets, that was when they tried to get that backdash through and got punished for it. But again, another burst. You mentioned it earlier in the Ramlethal matchup against Happy Chaos, like how both of those characters can structure their offense so effectively to just negate burst as a mechanic. Axel's like one of the OG characters of doing that, though.
No, absolutely, right? I mean, in Gear, any character that is able to generate threat and have their hits connect from farther out than burst range is just kind of inherently going to end up a burst-safe character. So, like, Ramlethal, Happy Chaos, Axel, like, all of these characters with these big, disjointed hitboxes. Speaking of hitting that box all the way away, Stealthy is unfortunately still going to get smoked out 3-0. Yes, Bunch, that's a 3-0.
So it's funny that you said that because, but the whole point of the original joke was that
and he's also stealing.
Negative.
He's stealing my name though. Like he's stealing my idea.
Yeah, dog.
So he owes me. Anyway, nice joke, bro.
No, you don't. You're here more than literally everyone else. Anyway, Nubenheimer.
I can't even get that off anymore. I can't even get that off.
Yeah, this guy takes 2 weeks off in a row. Crazy.
It's fine. We didn't burn the house down. It's still here.
3 shows. It was 3 shows.
Just the brand. That's fine. But anyway, speaking of branding, we got on screen Nubenheimer versus Solstice. And Solstice with a completely different character from earlier, locking in with the Bridget.
Yeah, making what I imagined to be a strategic choice, right? What were the choices? It was Sol or Ramlethal. Yeah, so I feel like Ramlethal and Inago is a matchup that I've seen Rams not really love. But you can see that with Bridget, it's like, all right, I've got the mobility. I've got the ability to generate threat in a disjointed way. I can have this lockdown, sort of in the same way that we saw Test Your Luck or Test Your Might lose out earlier this evening. Did I? Damn it.
I think Test Your Might, isn't that a D&D special?
No, that's a Mortal Kombat thing.
Man, we're falling apart here. Just like Solstice's health bar did. But no, Bridget is, I think, actually a pretty strong character in this particular matchup. The one thing you do have to be careful about is when you're twirling towards your yo-yo, you can't block. So you got to be super aware of the timing that Nagoriyuki can swing out of. Especially like 6P in generals you got to be careful of, but like those long sword normals, you can't go full screen tumble against this character.
Right, it seems like you can't do much of anything right now because Nubenheimer on Nagoriyuki right now, a healthy life lead, although as I say that, clipped by the low, when, if at all, is a burst going to come? No, we're just, like, comfortable blocking all of this? No, we burst as soon as we're hit by a close slash, but unfortunately, we are still stuck at the corner. Blood gauge slowly piling up, but we are not in the right spot. Beyblade, we let it rip, but we did not forward drift behind the red RC. Burst gets baited, and Solstice loses out for it as the close slash punishes. Damn.
So, since you're a major qualified Dragon Ball FighterZ commentator, Brad, I'm gonna read you this comment from the chat. It says that Bridget is just Gogeta Blue in the wrong game and the wrong body. Would you agree?
I don't usually like to compare versus style games to one-on-one games just because the toolkits are balanced so differently.
Yeah.
But I imagine the reason, like, what they mean when they say that is just about, like, the degree of control that you need to respect on shit. And just like, oh, yep, and now she just, like, turned 3/4 of the screen into a hitbox. I am the slime says, let me explain. Hey, you know what? I'm going to let you cook in the chat while I call out that Nubenheimer had that great momentum burst to keep... Oh, no, said yes, exactly. Yo, I'm so good.
Kite coming through with a take. But right now, Solstice... Oh, that counter hit was huge.
Like, look at that.
Yeah, that was...
Instant jump, Gogeta JH.
Oh, Kite coming through late. Didn't even know this was happening. Kite, are you even following CasaBunch on Twitter?
Imagine finding out your sponsored player is not actually following your own brand.
That
feels...
The contract ended almost a year ago.
No, oh my god, wow, it was almost a year ago. Damn, time is a weird soup. Gold Burst gets baited, nothing really comes of it. Nubenheimer is able to block the reversal as well.
And that might actually be enough.
With the wall break at the end, I think no. Oh, no, yes. That last hit always does a little bit, like the last hit before the wall break always does a little more than I expect.
Yeah, well, Bridget's also a Zero Guts character, isn't she? I'm pretty sure she's the 0 or 1. So you really don't have that survivability towards the end of the round like some of these other characters do.
So Kite, we're rotating through the gear titles on Thursday, so you kind of have to keep it loaded in the Discord. I think the next Strive bracket will be on the 15th.
Yeah, next week is plus R, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this lockdown here from Nubenheimer right now. The Guts scaling pretty high, gets a big pickup with the 6H. That is the blood gain that Nubenheimer definitely wanted. Okay, so I imagine like a Beyblade or a Fukio to try to make something happen in a second because they want to get back up into that tier 3. Oh, good blocks from Nubenheimer.
Yeah, great block sequence the entire way through to the other coast. But even still, trapped against the wall, tries to clone out, but that counter hit could be the end, actually. Roger comes through, gets the wall break, but no, so much health left on the table. Does get the Oki, the red drift. YRC not safe, has to spin the burst as well. Oh no, the counter burst.
Oh, but the pop, but the recovery from the burst keeps them from being able to punish. This is crazy. If Nubenheimer had bar, the baseball bat would have killed. This is a one-touch situation. Beyblade from down screen, let it rip.
That whole ending sequence was insane. From RCs to RC baits to bursts to burst baits, just it had everything.
You know what else it had? It had we have conflicting reports, but we might have hit 2K followers.
Conflicting reports?
Well, because I see
I have literal live updates. I watched the number rise myself. I'm literally
then I guess it's round. Then I guess it round.
It's rounded.
For all
and
of the rest
shout
of
out
us.
to Play with Random, our 2,000th follower. Thank you so much for stopping this argument in its tracks. Thank you. Holy shit. No one else follow, please.
No, please please follow. We need the follows.
All right, you can follow now. All right, you guys can follow.
He just needed the screenshot. Okay.
There we go. Hey, anyway, Solstice at a 2-game deficit with a strong life lead now in this spot. Sorry for us making that detour. 2K is kind of exciting.
Happy birthday, Bunch. There it is.
Thank you.
The Vampire Bite connects as well, drains that blood gauge into oblivion. Tempo Burst, trying to buy time to take this corner away, but that could have been so much worse for Solstice.
All right, blocking the extra overheads. How far are we going to be able to push this? Solstice, I think one of the difficulties Solstice has been having here is that, like, they're getting in the spots where they can run that offense, but I feel like they're autopiloting the block strings maybe a little bit, and Nubenheimer seems really comfortable just blocking it all out. I think we need to see a little bit more delay and some stagger pressure to try to open up the frame traps a little bit and elicit some sort of response out of Nubenheimer, because just trying to make them block is not doing it. And the chip damage of eating these normals right now, not working out super great for Solstice, as the 5H on block closes that one out and brings it to set point now for Nubenheimer.
That block damage is quite chunky. And even then, just getting raw hit, yeah, also quite chunky. It's Campbell's all the way down, and Solstice has to get something going here. They have the, damage on their side right now, I guess, because the blood pool gets the knockdown to 2K2D.
All right, that time we go for the fast low, and it's opening them up instead. But once again, I feel like this cycle is like we're not getting as much out of it as we might want in the first place. We do get the overdrive cash out for this big wall break. Are we going to be able to close out this round? This is a decent enough life lead, but I feel like Nubenheimer, this is like a 2 to 3 touch situation for Nubenheimer, given the resources that they have. But if you trade bar slash into the yo-yo, it's not going to do it for you.
Yeah, Bridget kinda has that same issue that we had with Milia earlier, right? Where it's like, you can make Nagoriyuki guess 7 times around and still maybe not win. Whereas they only need to make you guess like once or twice. And like Bridget's damage and survivability, I think, is a little bit higher than Milia's, but clearly not by much, as they just get pieced up for the final game.
Absolutely.